coast to coast. Tune into the static.
All three of these are creepypastas. We're gonna get into no sleep stuff later, but I wanted to start you out with some simple stuff. That's one of the reasons we're not starting with Ted the Caver, just so you can get a vibe for like what the other like side of things is. The some of the not so good stuff, and maybe you'll like one of these. I don't know. I like Polybius to be honest. Um, but
Does does,
basically,
does
hmm?
Polybius get beaten to death by an arcade machine?
No. No, he doesn't get beaten to death by an arcade machine. All right, so we're gonna start with the legend itself, who is phone. Okay, so basically, it's like this: you are at a friend's house for like the night or whatever, and then you guys are making out on the couch. Yeah, and then like her dad calls on the phone and says, "No, she likes it more if you use the other hand." Yeah. And you're like, "Oh dude, your
The
dad
fuck
is
is
trying
going
to
on?
give me." That's the story. That's exactly how it's written. I'm not paraphrasing at all. I'm reading the word for word. So it goes, and you're like, "Oh dude, your dad is trying to give me advice on how to diddle you."
Oh,
And then she's like, "I don't have a dad," or whatever. But what? Like, who is phone?
who is phone?
So that was who is phone. So the thing about this story is it became a massive meme on the internet. Um not like one that was like everywhere, but if you were like on like Mr. Creepypasta or something, it was very common to see but who is phone. Um or even in the comments of like different like no sleeps and stuff like that, you would see like but who is phone. And it became that kind of meme where like if you knew what it was, you knew what it was, but if you didn't, you'd be very confused.
Right.
Um but there is a different version of it. So I'm going to read that one to you now. And this one, I'm going to read it exactly. I'm probably going to have an aneurysm trying to read this, but we're going to just bear with me. Okay.
You got this.
So, I don't know if I do. So you're with your honey, and you're making out when the phone rings. You answer it, and the voice is, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl, and she say, "My dad is dead." Then who is phone?
That one was much more concise.
Yeah, it was much more to the point. That's actually the version of the story that I read whenever I first read the story. So that one is my first exposure to it. But yeah, so that was who is phone. What did you think about that one?
Pretty creepy, man.
Do you
It's
think
like
it's creepy?
whoever's calling is definitely he definitely has like a bird's eye view of what's going on.
You think it's the diddler?
It may be.
Well, if that's the case, it's not creepy. You need to call 911, bro.
Right.
Okay,
Hold on, Tim, I'll be
so
right back.
it's very interesting that he's never okay, so here's the thing about Matt. He's never heard any of these. He doesn't read, he's not into horror. So like these segments where he's gonna be on and listening to these horror stories, he's not a horror guy. So like we're starting him out with some of the shittier ones. At least with who is phone. I do like Polybius. I do like Polybius.
Have returned.
It's just the you caught me talking to the audience. Do you want to hear? I'm gonna leave this up to you. Do you want the statue or do you want Polybius next?
I gotta know about Polybius.
You need to know about Polybius. Let's see what Polybius has for you.
What horrors await him at the arcade?
Okay, actually, hold up. I just realized I'm reading the wrong fucking story.
No, you gotta continue now.
You want that one? All right. A few years ago, a mother and father decided they needed a break. So they went to head out for a night on the town. They called their most trusted babysitter. When the babysitter arrived, the two children were already fast asleep in bed. So the babysitter just got to sit around and make sure that everything was okay with the children. Later that night, The babysitter got bored and went to watch TV. But she couldn't watch it downstairs because they didn't have cable downstairs. The parents didn't want the children watching too much garbage. So she called them and asked them if she could watch cable in the parents' bedroom. Of course, the parents said it was okay, but the babysitter had one final request. She asked if she could cover up the angel statue outside the bedroom window with a blanket or a cloth because it made her nervous. The phone line went silent for a moment, and the father, who was talking to the babysitter at the time, said, "Take the children and get out of the house, and we'll call the police. We
Oh,
don't own an angel statue." The police found both of the children and the babysitter slumped in pools of their own blood. Within 3 minutes of the
jeez.
call, no statue was found at the scene.
For
They
real.
got fucking destroyed. Also, who has just outside of a window? Who just has an angel statue standing window height outside of a window?
For real.
Hang on. Was the wait? Was the I did say they was outside, right? Yeah, angel statue outside of the bedroom window. So she was going to go outside to cover up this angel statue.
She was like, why the fuck they got an angel statue in front of the window?
Well, her question was quickly answered, I'd say. So that story is 15 years old. It was posted by Anonymous.
I like how short and to the point they are.
A lot of okay, so the way that Creepypasta worked is a lot of I don't know if this one necessarily was that kind of thing, but a lot the way that a lot of the earlier Creepypastas worked is that they were more of a template, if that makes sense. So like they were like, this is the concept, they can now go do something with it.
I see.
Jeff the Killer kind of ended up in that vein after Jeff the Killer came out. He became like he had a bunch of crossover stories. People would reference him in other creepypastas. Kind of like Slender Man, you'd get like the operator or like different characters from the Slender story like kind of referenced within other stories.
Mm.
A lot of people put Candle Cove like in their stories or like some reference to Candle Cove like in their stories. There were a lot of them that were just kind of like templates to what would come later,
Mm. It's an angel death.
where you can't look away from it or it whoops your ass. All right, now on to Polybius. Polybius seems to be the one that you are the most eager for.
I gotta know what happened in the arcade.
Polybius was posted on July 20th, 2008. So this was one of those template stories. In Portland, Oregon, in 1981, an unheard of new video game, an arcade cabinet, appeared in several suburbs, something of a rarity at the time. This game was called Polybius. The game proved to be incredibly popular, to the point of addiction, and queues formed around the machines, quickly followed by clusters of visits from men in black. Rather than the usual marketing data collected by companies to arcade machines, they collected some unknown data, allegedly testing responses to the psychoactive machines. The players themselves suffered from a series of unpleasant side effects: amnesia, insomnia, nightmares, night terrors, and even suicide, appearing as having been caused by the game in various versions of the legend. Some players stopped playing the video game, while it is reported that one became an anti-gaming activist. The game was created by a mysterious company called Sense Deletion, and was a puzzle shoot 'em up somewhat like Tempest. It was only released in a few suburbs in Portland, Oregon. It was supposedly very popular, with the people forming long lines to play it. However, players reported strange things about the game, such as hearing a woman crying or seeing a grotesque face out of the corner of their eye. According to one owner of an arcade, men wearing black suits would often come to collect data records from the game. They did not take money, simply data from the game. Because of this, the leading theory is that it was some sort of government experiment using subliminal messaging. The game remains in obscurity, as around 1 month after its release, all cabinets suddenly disappeared. One cabinet reappeared in an arcade in 1998, however, quickly disappeared again shortly after its appearance. While some have tried to recreate the game, no one has ever found the original ROM. Since its urban legend flowered into the phenomenon that it is now, there have been many alleged sightings of the game, as well as several short videos about it. This could explain the amnesia.
The government is putting out haunted arcade machines.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea that it's like some government thing, but I also kind of like the idea that it could like be like a corporation fucking with people, you know what I mean? And like the government being in on it. I kind of like that as well. Just because of the idea that there's a haunted video game or like this corporation using video games to like get to children. That's really sinister.
They got one of those MIB memory pins, like those flashers.
You're about to beat the high score in Polybius and the minute and Will Smith walks up and just hits you with the what was it called? The neuralizer?
The
Was that it?
neuralizer.
So yeah, I mean those are the three stories for the day. I mean, I think all three of those probably have some form of influence going into like other stories. I'm not certain about the statue, but I feel like that inspired a bunch of like statue-esque probably stories or like angelic stories. I'm curious to know what the actual like entity was. Like was it demonic? Was it an actual statue? Like that one didn't really give any like information on what they were looking at. It was very straightforward, I felt like.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of like what was it? Encounters of the Fifth Kind. The damn owl sitting in the window. He's like you'd see the owl right before the fucking aliens came in.
I never saw that
It's like
movie.
I remember that owl used to creep me out all the time. It's like, man,
Is it just an owl?
it's like it's one of those white owls, like arched owls. That same owl was in the Mothman.
He's in the Mothman?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same owl. It shows up in that shit too.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. There's a Mothman movie?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
No.
Dude, yeah, if
No.
you haven't seen that, you gotta see it.
The Mothman Prophecies.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it like it's like a docu, right? It's like a
This has a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes
oh no, so that's an actual movie.
and a 6.4 on IMDb. This came out in 2002. I feel like this isn't the one you want me to watch.
We're gonna have to watch it on one of our bad movie days.
That's the owl that creeped you out?
I mean, you just saw it staring at your ass through the window, and then your door glows like white or blue.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. That owl does look kind of fucked up.
Four or five 3-foot grays walk in.
Oh no. Not the Grays. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. I'm having a Korean spirit right now. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh shit.